Good morning on this Tuesday, the 24th of March, when we have had some very great demands laid upon us in terms of how we're going to live our lives over the next few weeks. And in order for us to continue to maintain contact, to provide spiritual support and nourishment, there are very few options open to us. So I opened this morning with some singing from Psalm 121, Assurance of God's Protection. I lift up mine eyes to the hills, from where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Psalm concludes with the verse, the Lord will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forth and forevermore. That's Psalm 121, should you want to look it up. I'm going to stay with the Psalms this morning because from them you find all possible emotions expressed. It can be anger, joy, lament. And I was drawn this morning to Psalm 137, the lament over the destruction of Jerusalem. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down and there we wept, when we remembered Zion. On our willows there we hung up our harps, for there our captors asked us for our songs. And it concludes the fourth verse, how could we sing the Lord's song in a foreign land? You may, if you're of a certain age, remember that the pop group Boney M sang those words some years ago, by the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down. They didn't use the entire psalm for obvious reasons, because if you care to read all 9 verses, you'll find out why a lot of it is not terribly appropriate. In this psalm, though, the people of Jerusalem are under siege from King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. Jerusalem was the most precious, most sacred place for the children of Israel, the beating heart of God's promise to them. God's covenant of care, his personal involvement with his children was symbolized in stone buildings, the stone buildings of the temple. People believed that it was there that God himself could be found. And there are many echoes there with our present situation. All that we hold dear in all aspects of our lives has been taken from us, not by an invading army, but an invisible enemy. The unimaginable happened to the people of Jerusalem with the destruction of the temple. If God's house on earth had gone, where then was God? The people found themselves metaphorically in a strange land. When the people or situations that we have depended upon are overturned or fail, we too find ourselves in a strange land, one whose landscape is unfamiliar and which we cannot call home. There we may sit by the rivers of Babylon, our own personal Babylon, with the singers of Psalm 137, and weep as we remember happier times in Zion. This is a tough time for us all. We should pray for each other, be aware of those around us who are vulnerable particularly, and pray that we will be delivered from all that we face. So my morning prayer this morning is, teach us, O Lord, how to sing your song in this strange land in which we find ourselves, and help us to teach others how to find their voices too. Keep well and safe, and may the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you peace.